I think Chayka and Sundin are batting 1,000 right now. They're 1 for 1.
Yeah.
They had one task, and they did the right thing. They got rid of him.
I think they bunted this one home in extra innings. Like, this is the...
You still got to get the... You know how hard it is to get a bunt down?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You got to get the bunt down.
Got to get the bunt down.
You still had to take it upstairs and still have to say, hey, you're going to blast $8 million into the sun unless somebody hires Berube and get sign off on it. And they did.
Now, actually, relating this back to Cassidy, so it's one coach complaining and maybe 2 teams complaining. Where this is going to become a bigger issue is when everyone starts complaining, because Cassidy's a very highly sought after coach. Mm-hmm. And this is probably going to gum up the works. This is probably going to affect a lot more than 2 teams and a lot more than one coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why they haven't done it this way. But yeah.
Right.
But moving on to the Leafs here, because I do want to go Leafs.
Right.
So the Berube one to us was obvious, but there was some worry in the market fed by people that were saying, hey, he's not going to be, he might not be fired. He expects to be here, that sort of thing.
Because he's Keith's right-hand man and Keith doesn't know what he's doing.
And also, the Keith Pelly relationship is major.
Know what he's doing.
What is, and I think Keith has done the smart thing here. I hope he has, where he's gone, okay, I've hired these people. Now it's up to them.
Oh my God.
Please be the
Can we
case.
go at least several months without seeing him again? Holy cow.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do any more press conferences. So the next thing I want to ask is, what is the next thing? Because this is a great hurdle, but it was pointed out in The Athletic, and they're right, there is a lot to do. Mm-hmm. There's a lot to do. So what's the next? I mean, I guess you got to talk to Matthews next and get him on board.
It's It's your top 2 priorities are decide who you're picking, 1, and Austin. You need an answer with Austin. And like, I don't need this to be a long, drawn-out thing. If it's no, I want the Quinn Hughes treatment. So rip the Band-Aid off.
Can I? There's a line that Chayka keeps telegraphing to us, and nobody's paying attention to it. And they keep putting it on Leafs social media, and I'm like, I think he's telling us something. Okay, maybe he's Taylor Swifting us, just dropping some Easter eggs in. Players as partners. That's a line he's used multiple times now. And they put out a social media post with him saying, literally, it's called Players as Partners. I told you guys in the last episode, I think that Austin is causing a stink here because he was completely not included. And, we heard from CJ on the CJ show yesterday saying, well, there's a lot of captains that don't want to be included. Like Crosby's been asked before, he doesn't want to be a part of it. He said that he didn't think Austin would want to be a part of some of these things. And maybe that's true. But I have seen many captains that do. And I have a hard time believing that they're sitting out there going, show us the plan, but we want no involvement. That's the part.
I hate that.
Well, I just don't think I think they do want involvement. And I think Chayka's saying, we expect actually that our players will give us feedback, and that's the involvement.
I love that.
I'm hoping
that would be great.
I'm hoping doesn't it make sense?
Yes. What? Like, how many line mates has Sidney Crosby gone through over his career? Right?
Yeah. Listen, sorry. The idea that Crosby wasn't involved in Chris Kunitz being there at the Olympics. Yeah. It's not that Crosby's going to go, well, why don't you offer an extra second round pick for that player? I'm not talking about that.
No.
I'm talking about, tell me about what's happening in the dressing room, what you need. I think Crosby's involved like that, and I think Matthews has probably not been included.
Give me the X's and O's. Mm-hmm. What do you need in terms of X's and O's? Oh, okay, well, I was thinking about going out and getting this player, but he actually doesn't do the things that you're talking about. So what about, here's 3 guys. Oh, okay. Well, all 3 of these guys do this? I like this guy the best. Okay, we'll go out and we'll try to get that guy. Oh, we can't get that guy. Okay, well, what about number 2? Let's try to get number 2. Like that sort of thing.
Yeah. He's not he's not LeBron Jamesing this, where he's trade this man, fire this coach. Like, I don't think that's what this is going to be.
Like Austin has no thoughts on where he gets the puck.
No, I think,
Bullshit.
And that wasn't what CJ was saying either.
No, I know. I'm extrapolating. He has no thoughts after the year after his number 1 setup man is traded.
I think he's got thoughts.
He has no thoughts on where he gets the puck. Bullshit. Let us know. Help us help you. Unless, of course, you just want to frig off, which also let us help you.
Jesse Drake said yesterday on Overdrive that he thinks that
I thought you said Drake.
Drags. Okay. Drake did release the album, but he was not on Overdrive. He said yesterday on Overdrive that he thinks that Matthews will be back with the Leafs and that this is just a, hey, heads up, I'm still here. You got to involve me. Do you believe that?
I think Austin Matthews is on the Leafs next season. I think I don't think there's an avenue right now to move off of him. Like, I think if you're Chayka, you're coming in, that shouldn't be your first piece of business. I feel like you have Austin Matthews here. You try and build the team to whatever degree you can this offseason. You go into it next year. But like trading Austin at this point doesn't seem realistic. Even if like Austin doesn't want to be here, like I'm on the camp of just get rid of him though. But that trade's going to be so difficult to make
and
because
disappointing
of how much control he has.
We should talk about the other CJ quote.
Well, this is where we're going.
Oh, this is where we're going.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
You wanna go there?
So the and he addressed it on the show yesterday. The fact that a guy like Matthew Knies would have technically more market value because you can take him to more teams.
Yeah, and he explained the thought process on that, and he spoke to one person in the front office who was like, Austin Matthews is 28 years old and has a full no move, full no everything. He gets to control the situation. It's $13.25 million. Everybody's going to make room for Austin Matthews, but he's controlling where he wants to go because he has that ability in his contract. Matthew Knies is 23. We all know what he can be in a couple of years, you know, where his potential is going. And he only makes $7.75 million. That contract looks so good as life goes on. And it's for another 5 seasons?
5
after, including like coming up the season. So that's a long time for a really young, dynamic player. So yeah, there might be a better package out there for Matthew Knies. That doesn't mean they're looking to trade either of those people.
The Artemi Panarin trade. So there's a guy who had a full no move who makes 11.6, who went wherever he wanted, which was LA. It was Artemi Panarin for Liam Greentree, who's a former first round pick, who I think is going to be pretty good. A conditional 3rd round pick in the 2026 draft, and a conditional 4th round pick in the 2028 draft.
For the player that Artemi Panarin is,
brother,
that is a ridiculously low return.
Let me tell you, that blows chunks.
You know who got a better...
And I think Greentree is going to be pretty good, but that stinks.
You know who got a better return? Brandon Carlo.
Oh.
Jesus.
Oh, my God.
I'd take the Carlo package over that.
Oh, my God.
Especially if it was almost the 6th overall pick.
I'm dying.
Well, okay, if you want to go to... Like, you know who went for more than that? And this is a good player, but I wouldn't say they're a Timmy Panarin. Brock Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Nelson got a lot more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Austin thing, it's real difficult if he wants out. I think if he wants out, it's goodbye. Or I'll hold you hostage and you'll play for me. I don't know. I don't know how you navigate that situation, but it doesn't seem immediate that he wants out. Apparently right now, so
no, I don't think it does.
Yeah.
I don't think it does either. So it is what it is.
I'd like to hear that from him. I'm still on the hey, Austin, you got to be a better captain here. This is ridiculous that we're twisting the wind.
The problem is there's nothing they can do until a year from now, right?
What would you, I mean, first off, he can't say anything until they have that conversation. They haven't had it yet, right? But once they do have that conversation, if John Chayka comes back and says, we talked to Austin and here's what he said, or here's what we agreed on. And he's not going to give you much because he can't. Do you then want to hear from Austin?
I think he can. I think Austin Matthews right now can say, I'm committed to the Toronto Maple Leafs and I want to be here and this is my team and I am committed to building this thing back into a contender because I love the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think he has the ability to say that and he refuses to because he doesn't want to commit. And I think giving him the leeway to say like, oh, he doesn't know what's going to happen. He's waiting and seeing. He's put out there the initial reports from Friedman and CJ that he's unsure of the future. If he could have put out at that moment, I am committed to the future and I want to see what this new regime is doing. And I'm here alongside them to build this team. And he has not done that. And that leaves me disappointed as a fan.
So then the next thing is, let's call this what it is. Okay. Unless you steal, like outright steal something. And I don't expect that to happen in today's NHL all that often. You know, maybe these guys do make some trades and go, holy shit, like that worked out great or, whatever. And we don't know until the actual games are played. To build this back into a real Stanley Cup contender is not next year. It might not even be the year after. Mm-hmm. We're talking this is probably a 3-year plan. And I know that they're not going to tell the media that. They're not going to tell the fans that. Are they challenging for the playoffs next year? I think they should be. I think there's enough talent on the roster to do that. I thought they should have challenged for the playoffs this year. But this is going to be the honest conversation they're going to have, not only with themselves, but with Austin, which is this is going to be a build back up. And we're going to have to be very smart. And sorry, but us being a Stanley Cup contender next season, if you're watching the games right now,
yeah,
that's just not feasible. That's just not feasible. And they're going to have to make some tough decisions on how they're going to get there. I think you build the team around Austin, but everybody else to me feels movable. And I include William Nylander in that. And I'm not saying that
another full no move.
You're not going to get a great trade return for William Nylander. I get that. But you've got to look at every option. And so
I'm so scared about them not having their own first.
Really? Why?
Because it could be the first overall pick.
Yeah, if you get rid of Matthews and Nylander and the return sucks.
I don't think they're doing that. I think the whole in this plan, in their world, it's built around Austin. But what I'm saying is leave the first pick for a second. We just got out of the anxiety for the first pick. Let's leave that. Okay?
Well,
let's talk about the plan though.
No, but those two things go hand in hand, because if you want to take a step back and it's a 3-year rebuild, for the next 2 drafts you don't have the first round pick, and if you're in control of your own team and saying, okay, we're going to take a step back and be a little bad, you want to have that assurance.
But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I think they should be challenging for the playoffs next year, but I'm not saying they should be challenging for the cup.
For the next 2 years, they need to stay out of the bottom 10.
That's what I'm saying too. Yeah.
You got to stay out of the bottom 10.
And I think they can.
Because then you could give up like Matthew Schaefer.
Yeah.
Right? Because the Islanders, I think, had the 10th best odds.
Totally. And I'm with you. We're agreed on that.
Yeah.
I'm saying that I think they should be back challenging for the playoff spot, even if they're on the outside looking in like Detroit or Columbus. Mm-hmm. They got to be back into that range, at least the mushy middle. And then you've got to find the way to step forward.
But then that's not like a 3-year rebuild to become a Stanley Cup contender, because to do that, you have to bottom out. Like that's to build up your team to really have a long-term run at this thing. The only way to get those players is to really bottom out. So this can't be like the okay, we got to formulate things so we're good for 10 years. It's got to be still trying to be good right now and keep going.
That's what I'm saying though. That's exactly what I'm saying, which is I think they've got to take step forwards next year, the year after, and the year after that to build themselves back up. I don't necessarily agree that bottoming out is the only way to get, because they have bottomed out. They got the first overall pick. Now it's about, okay, what can we do this summer to build towards that? Is the Matthew Nyes? Nobody wants to see Matthew Nyes go.
No.
But if that gets you, what if you, Chicago apparently really likes Matthew Nyes.
Sure.
What if that gets you the 4th overall pick plus this year?
I'm listening 100%.
Right. And then,
I love Matthew Nyes, but yeah, that's crazy.
Right. Like these are the things that it's like, okay, you're at the bottom out. Now you've got to build. And my question is, how do they build? And I don't think next year is a bottom out year at all. I think they've got to take a step forward back into the top 20. And then you got to start to try to work back into the top 10.
But this to me sounds a lot like last year, because that was the hope with last year. It's like, okay, we're going to lose Mitch, but we're going to bring in these pieces that'll keep us steady. And then we all know how last year went.
Yeah.
To me, that doesn't sound like the winning formula.
You have to.
So you think they bottom out?
I think it's going to be really hard to not make this thing a longer term fix.
You have to be active. Look at the teams that are left, right? So Vegas is obviously odd because they're when was their 2017 was the expansion draft.
Yep.
But outside of the expansion draft, they don't have a ton of homegrown guys, but they have an unbelievable amount of trades. Mm-hmm. Colorado, they drafted their guys, they traded for them. That's how they got them. Mm-hmm. Carolina, they drafted, they traded. Montreal, they drafted.
Yeah.
Drafted
and
like
got
crazy.
Got a guy like Phil Deneau for nothing.
And traded. Right? Buffalo, drafted. And a couple of them they traded. Did I miss anyone? I don't think so.
No.
You got to draft, you got to trade. Did any of those guys, did I go, you build through free agency?
Well, no,
It's
certainly not.
impossible.
You
It's
can't
impossible
do
these
it.
days.
You can
Can't
make
do
smart
it.
trades, though.
You can make smart trades. You can make them all day long. Chayka needs to be one of the most active pickle? One of the most active pickles at the draft.
Well, what do you think about the Vinny Trocheck thing that the Leafs have ruined?
I don't believe it.
You don't believe it?
How would anybody know that Chayka wants Vinny Trocheck right now?
Well, because the Rangers probably got a call from the Leafs and then leaked it. That's probably what happened.
I don't think there's anything there.
No?
I'm not calling anyone out, but Overdrive's official Twitter account was like, Darren Dreger said this. And then you listen to the segment and Darren Dreger's like, yeah. He didn't really commit to the Leafs they want Vinny Trocheck.
I mean,
like
they should
want
be
their
calling
next
about
breath.
anybody, right? Like, they should be calling about good centers.
Yeah, he's available. Why not?
But yeah, Dreger wasn't reporting the Leafs are trading for Vinny Trocheck tomorrow.
Okay.
Like,
The Leafs are interested in a good Olympian? That's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It didn't move me.
No.
Even if it ends up happening, it didn't move me because, like, yeah, of course they are.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that look like, too? What are you giving? And apparently the price at the deadline was insane.
The only thing that, like, looking at the Leafs assets that makes even sort of sense is the Colorado pick for 27.
Don't do that. You need that pick. You might need that for a bigger deal, I think.
Well, I don't know. I feel like you could put that to better use.
I think so, too.
I don't know.
And you never know what'll shake loose in the next few weeks, too, as teams get eliminated and the market starts to kind of show. There are not a lot of sellers.
The regular season didn't go the way a lot of people thought, and the playoffs haven't gone the way a lot of people thought. There's a lot of shit happening right now. Chris Knobloch got fired? What?
Hey, did you like the thing you just watched?
Was it hilarious?
Was it informative?
Was it me losing my mind?
Possibly. Potentially. Most of the time it is. Hey, listen, if you like what SDPN has to offer, you should check out more of our videos and subscribe to our channel by clicking subscribe, or Steve will find you.